on the show is the man who never pulls his punches when discussing politically charged issues, a stand which has brought him head to head with the Kerala government. Arif Mohammad Khan, Governor of Kerala, is joining me live. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Arif Saab, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has lashed out at the BJP-led government at the centre over the triple talaq law. He has questioned why the practice of instant divorce among Muslims was criminalized when divorces happen in all religion. What will be your first reaction on this?
You know, divorce, there is no doubt that divorce is part of every modern law. Even in Christian countries where the religion forbids divorce, now divorce is part of the statutes. And divorce definitely comes under the civil laws. And in civil laws, you cannot forbid any action on the pain of punishment. So, as far as the principle is concerned, there is no problem. The problem is that these views are being expressed out of sheer ignorance of the Muslim jurisprudence. Divorce is one thing and triple divorce is totally different from divorce as a civil subject. First thing is that there is no mention. Where is the question of there is no sanction, and it is not only that it is not sanctioned, there is not even mention of triple divorce as far as the scripture, that is Quran, is concerned. Triple divorce, even Muslim Personal Law Board in their affidavit have admitted it is wrongful, it is innovative, it is derogatory to the dignity of women, and they in 2017, the affidavit which they submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court, they said that they themselves will start a campaign against this wrongful and innovative method of divorce. But what these people do not realize is that right from the day one, it was during the period of second Caliph Hazrat Umar when triple divorce was accepted as legally permissible. But in the first case itself, the man who had pronounced 3 instant divorces, which means immediate separation, he was subjected to corporeal, physical punishment. So one thing is clear, divorce is a civil subject, but triple divorce was considered as a criminal offense. And for it, you can compare it like this, that two persons are having a dispute over some property. Now this is a dispute of civil nature. But if one person takes law in his own hands and physically injures the other party, then that will not be considered as part of the civil dispute.
Right.
It will be treated differently.
Okay.
It will be treated differently, and criminal proceedings will have to start against that person.
Okay.
Therefore, Hazrat Umar, he subjected this man who admitted when complaint reached him, and when this person was summoned and he admitted, so he said that you have made this whole provision of the Quran something of play. Therefore, he said, now you can't go back to this woman, but you will be subjected to 40 lashes. Today, if you give that punishment to anybody, it will be difficult for him to survive.
That's
so
right.
The law which the government of India has made, in fact, is more humane.
Okay, you are saying that it is humane. Do you see a larger vote bank factor at play here with next general elections a year away? Because Vijayan's opposition to the triple talaq ban follows similar criticism that had come from other opposition parties. Congress at that time had also urged that the bill be referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee as well for further discussions.
I think, I feel it is more than that. It is not merely, because you will have to take everything into consideration. The left parties, historically speaking, say in 1986, when I took the stand against triple divorce, who supported me, vociferously supported me? It were the left parties and BJP. In fact, Mr. EMS Namboodiripad, when you told me about this statement, I thought that late Mr. EMS Namboodiripad must be turning in his grave, because he was not only against triple divorce, and he extended full support to me. He came out so strongly in support in favor of my stand. But not only that they supported my stand against the triple divorce, the left parties, historically speaking, have been pleading for uniform civil code. They are the votaries for uniform civil code. But now it seems that they are possibly revisiting their stand. They are reviewing their earlier, whatever they have said earlier, which is on record. But this is not merely, I won't look at it from this angle, because I heard somebody who was speaking before me that to attract the votes of some community. No, the game is larger than that.
So what is this larger game?
You have larger game is that in Kerala, governments are formed by the fronts, not any particular political party. Every front has more than 10, 12 parties. Now, Kerala papers are reporting it for last few months that some overtures are being made, some realignment of forces is going to happen. Now, there is a party in the opposite front who have differed with the left parties on the question of the personal law. So maybe these statements are being made to assure the people of that political persuasion that you forget about our earlier stand, which was considered a very, very, very progressive stand. Now, as far as the question of personal law is concerned, we are not only ready to stand with you, but we are even ready to attack something which happened 3 years back. This law was made in 2019. This is not an issue today. If this is being made an issue today, it is only to give assurance to a particular political outfit that on the question of the Muslim Personal Law Board, because there is a lot of discussion about the Uniform Civil Code also. So sort of assurance is being given that if you agree for the realignment of the forces, then you be sure that you will not be embraced, and we will stand with you to oppose the Uniform Civil Code. We will stand with you to uphold the religious personal laws.
Okay.
I think that is the game.
So,
it is not merely to
there is debate also raging
of
over the talks that have happened between Jamaat-e-Islami Hind and RSS. CPM, in fact, has strongly criticized Jamaat-e-Islami for the same. How do you view it?
Maybe they have, because they have adopted a yardstick, according which they have repeatedly said, I am not making any allegation against them. They are saying that anybody who is opposed to the central government or to the BJP is secular in their opinion. And so if you put it in reverse terms, then anybody who even tries to talk to them, they will become persona non grata for them. I'm not making any allegation. I'm just, since you are asking me this question, this is how I look at it.
Okay.
Because these are I'm basing my assessment on the statements which have already been published many times in Kerala papers.
Since you're talking about political realignment, and this statement has drawn a lot of attention, Arif Saab, Kerala Chief Minister has also reiterated that the Citizenship Amendment Bill is anti-minority. His question was, how can we decide citizenship based on religion? It should be based on where we are born. You know, when we look at that realignment argument that you're trying to give, all these issues which are seen as divisive and polarizing being raised by CPM and the Chief Minister himself.
In fact, I hold the view that if anything is bad or injurious for any section of the Indian population, is bad and injurious for the whole of India. It is important to see the kind of terminology which they are using. This terminology and idiom is, historically speaking, it is always used by those who want to create fear in the mind of a section of the population, so that they feel hounded, they feel insecure, they feel unsettled, disoriented. And in that, when you place them in that state of mind, then you reach out to them and project yourself as champions of their interest. There is nothing new about it. Before 1947, this was the terminology, this was the idiom, this was the strategy of Muslim League. Now there are people who feel that if Muslim League could use it successfully before 47 to achieve their agenda, why people today cannot use the same terminology and idiom, same strategy to frighten people, to hurt them, to feel insecure. And these insecure people, it will be much easier to manipulate them. It will be much easier to get their sympathies if you reach on the scene and pose yourself as champion of their interests and as their protectors.
But Arif Saab, the fact is also...
You can see in the film.
The fact is also that Muslim women have spoken out against triple talaq. The triple talaq debate with identity politics, gender equality, is part of a larger national debate over the Uniform Civil Code or the UCC. What is your perspective on the demands that diverse personal laws should be replaced with UCC? You have spoken in the past. I want you to throw some light on it again. It should be applicable to all Indians, irrespective of religion, gender or caste. Would it be the first step to create a just, equal and egalitarian society?
Your question, I will deal in three parts. First, the Muslim women themselves have spoken against the triple divorce. In fact, it was the Muslim women who went to the Supreme Court. Judgment was given on their petition, and then when this bill was passed in the Lok Sabha, the then opposition, I am not naming any party, did not allow it to become law because it could not be passed in Rajya Sabha. It took more than 2 years for it to become a law when the government could manage the majority in the Rajya Sabha. That was in 2019 when it became law. Judgment had come in 2017. So, but the proof of the pudding is in eating. What has happened since 2019 when this law was made? The rate of divorce in the Muslim community has gone down by more than 90%. If I remember correctly, it is 95 or 96%.
That's right.
Lowering of the divorce rate. How many families have been saved? How many Muslim women have been saved from this indignity? How many children's future has been protected? But the hunger for power is such a strong, I would say, sentiment that you ignore all these things. And that is why I am saying that this kind of statements are not simply, they do not target some section of the voters. Basically, this is, if the reports which have appeared in the Kerala press, speculating about the realignment of political forces, something is happening there. I see this as part of that process where major realignment is going to happen, and in order to assure the people of that particular political persuasion that we will stand with you for upholding and saving the religion-based personal laws. Now the question of uniform civil code. Everybody who holds an elected office or constitutional office takes an oath of the Constitution. Even a person who fights the election is made to take oath. Now it is a constitutional obligation for the government of India, for the whole of India, to have a uniform civil code. But lot of disinformation is being spread that if uniform civil code comes, then everybody will be forced to adopt same customs, same rituals, same practices. Those who are in lesser numbers, they will not be allowed to bury their dead, and everybody similar kind of practices will be forced. There cannot be a greater untruth than this disinformation. Okay. Already, Hindu code bill is applicable not only to the Hindus but to the Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists. Has that law been able to cement all the differences in practices and rituals and the way the marriages are solemnized? No, that is not the purpose of the law. The purpose of the law, purpose of the Uniform Civil Code is uniformity of justice, not uniformity of practices. How you solemnize your marriage, it is for you to decide whether you go around the fire, you don't go around the fire, you go to Gurdwara, you go to some Buddhist priest performs that function, some Muslim priest perform, that everybody is free. For instance, in Muslim law, a husband is obliged to pay meher, which normally they do not pay, to the wife before the consummation of marriage. Do you think UCC is going to forbid the payment of this meher? Certainly not. What UCC will seek to achieve is uniformity of justice. Okay. You solemnize your marriage in a manner which you like or in which you believe, but if a dispute arises and matter goes to the court, then the justice will be done to all women. They may belong to any community, but it will be uniformity of justice, whether it is man or woman.
Arif Saab, I'm going to shift focus now.
UCC only aims at uniformity of justice.
Uniformity of justice. From UCC, I'm going to shift focus now to the two issues that are being debated across India. One is the BBC documentary. Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, has said that BBC documentary is not accidental, and he has called it politics by another means, as he denounced the narrative in the foreign media about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Can this external negative trend, negative trend, which is very evident, why does it happen before the election year? And it's nothing new to this government, because we have also seen it during Indira Gandhi tenure when she spoke about some foreign hand.
Yes. I totally agree with what our Foreign Minister Shri Jaishankar has said. But if for your basically, what the documentary is trying to say. Documentary is trying to say that you believe a report which was prepared by some British officers and ignore the verdict of the highest court of India, that is the Supreme Court. This is what they are telling us through this documentary. But there is nothing new about it. George Bernard Shaw has beautifully described this mindset. He said that there is nothing so bad or so good that you will not find an Englishman doing it, but you will never find an Englishman in the wrong. He does everything on principle. He fights you on patriotic principles. He robs you on business principles. He enslaves you on imperial principles. And if I may add, he slanders you, he character assassinates you on the principle of journalism. There is nothing new about it. Have they ever made any documentary on how, on the Jallianwala Bagh? Have they made any documentary how the craftsmen, the weavers of Bengal, their thumbs were cut, physically cut? Have they made any documentary of the famine of 1943 when all the wheat was taken to England? And despite the request of the British officials in Calcutta themselves, who requested the then Prime Minister Churchill that at least send some rice to India. People are dying on the roads. And Churchill wrote on the file, they breed like rabbits, let them die. And on another file he wrote, why Gandhi has not died so far. Therefore, a documentary produced with that mindset, I do not think we need to have long discussion about it. It should be treated with the contempt. Which
you are treating it with contempt.
For us,
there is another statement that has been made by billionaire businessman George Soros, in which George Soros, businessman, has talked about democratic revival in India because the Adani trouble will weaken the Modi government. And he is same Mr. George Soros who in 2020 had pledged $1 billion to fight rising nationalism and had particularly singled out Prime Minister Modi. Arif Saab, have we ever seen Indian businessmen speak so openly against governments in other countries or, prime ministers of other countries?
No. Where is the question? Where is the question? India is one of the most ancient civilizations. We never had colonies anywhere, even when we were at the zenith of our glory. So why we do not have that mindset? But Mr. George Soros, he has that mindset. They want the world, they feel that it is their right to dictate to the people all over the world how they should conduct their affairs. They are not ready to they suffer from that white supremacist mindset. And therefore, they try to poke their nose into the affairs of the others. And as I said earlier, now the world is recognizing our potential. People recognize and acknowledge that India is a great, ancient, continuing civilization. And even in countries of Europe, the performance of the Indians in every field of activity is yielding great results, is influencing everybody, impacting everybody. Therefore, always remember, unfair criticism is a blessing in disguise. Nobody kicks a dead dog. This criticism only shows that India is a country where things are happening. Indians are people who are on the path of achievement. And if I may quote Swami Vivekananda, He said, I do not believe in stargazing. I do not care about the future. But one vision I see clear as life is that India, that is Mother India, is sitting on her throne, rejuvenated, more glorious than ever. And the last sentence is more important. Proclaim her to the world with voice of peace and benediction. Whatever these people do, we will proclaim India's status with a voice of peace and benediction. We would like to know the world that a strong India can never be threat to anybody. Our culture is defined by Atma, that is the soul.
Okay.
Therefore, for us, every human being is potentially divine.
Okay.
It does not matter to us what race that person belongs to, what
Arif
language that person speaks.
My couple of last questions.
Yes.
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan recently wrote a letter to you asking to clear 8 bills that are awaiting approval by Raj Bhavan. You have asked ministers to meet and clear your doubts. Reports are suggesting that they are likely to meet you tomorrow. Can we see some reconciliation here?
No, where is the question of it? There is no dispute. I had written to him 6 months back. In fact, last 3 years, I have written number of letters saying to him, it is your constitutional duty to brief me regularly. He never performed his constitutional duty. He never comes to Raj Bhavan. On these bills, I wrote to him about 6 months back. I have certain queries. I want to be briefed about them. More than 6 months. About 4 months back, he wrote to me that the ministers concerned will come and brief you. They never came. And last week he wrote to me that an appointment was given to them which was cancelled. He's talking about a day on which I was not even in Trivandrum. So I clarified it. I said, this is not right. Nobody has sought any appointment. Nobody has come to me. No appointment was given. No appointment was cancelled. So they are coming tomorrow.
Okay.
If they are able to satisfy me, because, for instance, they want, on the question of the Lok Ayukta, the government itself wants to sit in judgment. Nobody can be a judge in his own cause. If they are able to satisfy me, I will clear the bill. If they are not able to satisfy me, I will further apply my mind. And if I find it a fit case, I will refer these things to Honorable President of India. Because don't forget, in 2001, Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Tamil Nadu has clearly said that the oath which governor takes to defend, preserve and protect the constitution and the laws is not a mere formality. He cannot allow anything to be done which is contrary to the constitution and the laws. I am duty bound.
Okay.
I cannot do otherwise.
Okay.
There is no dispute, therefore no question of reconciliation. They have to satisfy me that these measures do not contradict the provisions of the constitution and the spirit of those provisions and the laws.
Okay.
And
Arif Sahab,
I'm open to discussion.
Aakhri sawal aapse, and this is about the comments that have been made by 2 parties in Jammu and Kashmir. There is a war of words which is happening there, where the Kashmiri parties are demanding immediate elections. Omar Abdullah has hit out at the state administration for imposing property taxes. He has said that there should not be any taxation without representation. How do you react to that? And another question, Mehbooba Mufti has also attacked the BJP, saying that Dogra community of the Jammu region has not been represented well in the state administration. Something she never raised when she was in power before the abrogation of Article 370. So how do you see these 2 parties and their leaders stand?
He is absolutely right that there cannot be any taxation without representation. But representation, it were the representatives of the Kashmir. They were also part of the Constituent Assembly. They have written the Constitution of India, which gives power to the central government, that if there is collapse of constitutional machinery in a particular state or union territory, then affairs will be run by the central government. Central government is as much representative. Central government and its representative in the form of lieutenant governor are as much representative of the people of Kashmir as they are representative. The central government is representative of people of UP or people of Kerala or Tamil Nadu or any other state. There is a tinge of separateness in these assertions. And the very purpose why the assembly had to be dissolved and why president rule or governor rule is continuing is only because the state, there were the extremists who were trained outside the borders of India, they were creating problem, and the local leadership was in no position to handle them. That is the reason. But the administration which is there today in Kashmir, lieutenant governor is appointed according to the constitution, which has been made by the representatives of the people of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. Where is the question otherwise? And the other question, I am not aware of, and I do not believe in counting the number of the communities. I feel anybody who is there in administration has a constitutional duty to do justice to all manner of people without fear or favor, without taking into consideration the fact which community that person belongs to, or or people for whom he is duty bound to do his duty, which community those people belong to. For us, for those who are in the administration, for them, everybody is an Indian.
All right, Arif Mohammed Khan, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for a candid interview. You took all questions. Thank you so much for your time, sir.